And be seated and remain quiet, please. Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
So she's going to sound. Sounded like you're in the well, right?
It's the mask, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there is some feedback.
On the microphone. You hear it? Okay, the lawyers are present, the defendant is present. Are both sides ready to proceed?
Stay ready, Mike. The only thing, Your Honor, can we have a short recess after the third witness so we can get our evidence out?
Sure. If I forget, just remind me, please.
Okay, thank you.
Does it still sound like that? Not to me. You want to say something else? Testing? It does a little bit.
I can't tell if it's like it's moving.
Do I sound like that? Testing. Do I sound like I'm talking
normal,
over
but I'm wondering if there's some microphone on over here.
Well, the only one that's added is the one on the podium.
I'm sorry?
The one on the podium.
So the only one that's on is the one on the podium.
Okay.
Let's bring in the jury, please. Thank you. They still have to line up, so you all might want to wait to stand. The webinar is down, but they're working on getting it back up in case you hear about it from anyone.
You can't because they did it on court TV and
Right.
Jurors are in.
may be seated. Members of the jury, welcome back. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. We're going to go ahead and get started here. State when you're ready, you may call your next witness.
Justin Colton.
Good morning. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You can go ahead and be seated. You would please lean into the microphone and please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Justin Anthony Colton, C-O-L-T-O-N.
Thank you.
Mr. Colton, you don't have to lean that much. Mr. Colton, good
He's
morning.
following directions.
Morning.
He's following directions.
Hey, I just didn't want him to swallow that microphone. Mr. Colton, you go to school?
Yes, I'm a full-time college student.
Okay, where do you go to school?
Florida Gulf Coast University.
Okay. Where did you go to high school?
Marjory, Stoneman, Douglas.
And when did you graduate?
2021.
I'd like to call your attention to Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018. Do you remember that day?
Yes,
At that time, what year were you in at Marjory, Stoneman, Douglas?
a freshman.
Okay. I'd like to call your attention again to that date, fourth period. You remember where you were, Mr. Colton?
Yes.
Where were you?
I was in room 1216 in English class.
Pardon? I'm sorry.
In English class.
Okay, and you remember who your teacher was?
Miss Haas.
Okay, I want to show you just a quick. This case we did at Mark 3. And can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and there'll something come up and you can just circle where you were. Right there? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, fourth period, tell us what happened.
I was in fourth period, just sitting there writing an essay, and then heard loud sounds like the gunshots, and then everyone began to run in the classroom. I had ran towards the back, towards the teacher's desk, and I was on the ground. I had my hand, and I was crawled against the ground.
Okay, and then what happened?
And then we sat there for about 20 minutes, or less than 20 minutes probably, and then the police had came into our classroom and escorted us out.
Okay. So before the police came, you said you heard gunshots, right?
Yes.
Where did the gunshots, when you first heard them, where did they sound like they were coming from?
By like the exit, close exit of the hallway.
On the east side?
Yes.
Okay. And then you heard the shots, and then what happened in your classroom?
Everyone had got up and ran, all scattered like around the classroom, and was trying to take cover.
Okay. And you said you ran to the teacher's desk?
Yes.
Who was near you?
I was next to Maddie and the teacher, and Alaina was behind me.
Okay. Alaina Petty?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see where Alex Schachter was?
Yes.
Did you see anything happen with him?
No, I just saw him sitting back in his desk.
Okay. And how about Alyssa Alhadeff?
No, I didn't see her.
Who else was close to you? How about...
Alex Dworet was close to me when we were sitting in the classroom, and then everyone was kind of like against the wall, so they weren't really behind the desk.
Okay. And did you get shot?
Yes.
All right. When did you get shot and where did you get shot?
when I was sitting or running towards the back of the room in my right arm and my lower right back.
Okay. So what happened as a result of your injuries?
I have a couple fragments still in my lower back, and then I have a scar on my arm as well.
Okay. And did you go right to the hospital?
Yes.
And how long were you in the hospital?
1 night and 2 days.
Okay. Did you see, you said you saw Alexander Dworet, he was near you?
Yeah, he was sitting near me.
Okay, how about William Olson?
No, he wasn't by me.
He was behind you?
He was not by me.
Okay. All right, and you said then the police came and took you out?
Yes.
Okay. And what, you have any after effects from your injuries?
Just can't do some motions because of my back.
Your Honor, same basis as last week.
Okay, so noted, thank you.
I can't do some motions with my motions like working out or anything because of my back.
Okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions from Mr. Colby.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, so you're excused.
Thank you.
Miguel Suarez, please.
So please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down and be seated. And when you're seated, please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Yes. It's Miguel A. Suarez, last name Suarez.
Good morning, Mr. Suarez.
I do, sir.
How are you employed?
I'm employed with the Broward Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been with the Broward Sheriff's Office?
Approximately 14 years.
Okay, what is your training?
Right now, I'm currently assigned to the crime scene unit of the Broward Sheriff's Office.
And what type of training have you had to be in the crime scene?
I've had over 1,000 hours of on-the-job training.
Okay. And prior to becoming in the crime scene unit, what did you do?
I was assigned to road patrol.
Okay. I'd like to call your attention to Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018. Do you remember that date?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how long had you been in the crime scene unit at that time?
Approximately about 2 years.
Okay. And as a result, did you get a call of being in the crime scene unit?
Yes, I was already at our crime scene office, and I was notified by my supervisor a mass casualty shooting at a school.
Okay. And did you respond?
Yes, I did.
And where did you respond to?
I respond to the area of 5901 Northwest Pine Island Road.
Okay. And what type of facility is there?
That's a school campus.
And what's the name of the campus?
Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School.
Okay. So when you got there, were you assigned a particular duty?
Yes, as soon as we were given the all clear of the school, our supervisor starting assigning individual assignments for each of one of us.
Okay. And what was your assignment?
I was tasked with first just documenting one of the students, and from there I also documenting the second floor building number 12.
Okay. And that's the 1200 building?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you were assigned to the second floor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me show you State's Exhibit this has already been marked. I need a sticker. Okay. I think this is already in evidence. Pretty sure? Okay. Sorry, I'm going to make sure I get the right one.
Mr. Records that came in through Mr. Power.
Yeah, good. Okay. State's Exhibit 48. Let me ask you if you can identify that.
Yes, sir, that's be a diagram of building 12, second floor.
Second floor, okay. And that's the floor you were assigned to?
Yes.
Okay. Now showing you State's Exhibits 10M, 10N, and 10-0. Mr. Suarez, would you take a look at that? Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What are those photographs depict?
These photographs are the some of the cameras located on the ceiling, which correspondingly were placed on the west, the middle of the hallway, and also on the east end of the
Okay.
building.
And these photographs truly and accurately depict where the cameras were on Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, this time I'd like to offer 10M, 10N, and 10-0.
Is there any objection?
No, ma'am.
Okay, without objection, State's Exhibit 10M, as in Mary, for identification will be received as 229. State's 10N, as in Nancy, for identification will be received as 230. And 10O will be received as 231.
Is now showing you State's Exhibit 231. There will be there it is. Would you show us what side of the hallway is that?
That should be on the east end of the hallway, sir.
You sure that's the east end, Mr. Suarez?
But that'll be a west end, sir.
Okay. So, do you see the colors? You want to show us where the camera is on the west end of the hallway?
It's right near the window, the double pane window.
You know how to work the telestrator?
So, sir. Right there.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit marked 230. You recognize that? What's
Yep.
that?
That's the camera oriented in the middle of the hallway.
All right, you want to circle that?
Yes.
This is the second floor, right?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit marked 229. Is that the east side?
Yes, sir.
And there's the camera. Okay, good. All right. So what's the first thing you did when you were on the second floor?
As I got up into the second floor, I began my photography, which basically I picked a side, whether it be the east or west end side, and began taking my overalls and intermediates of the whole floor.
Okay. And did you recover anything or observe anything?
Yes.
What did you observe?
As I'm walking on the hallway, I observed several broken out windows and also what appear to be spent shell casings along some parts of the hallway.
Let me show you now. State's exhibits marked 10R, 10W, 10B, and 10Q. Yes, we can identify that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is that?
These are some spent shell casings that were the first two shown are two just west of room 1234.
Okay.
And also one within the threshold of the open door going into room 1234.
All right, all 1234?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer State's exhibits 10Q, 10R, 10W, and 10B.
Mr. Sass, was it B or V?
V, I'm sorry, like in victory? Do you want to see it?
Nope, I have a notation, thank you.
The only objection is to 401. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Over the defense objection, states Q will be received as 232. States R will be received as 233. 10Q is 232. 10R is 233. 10V as in Victor will be received as 234. And 10W will be received as 235.
State's exhibit marked 232. And you want to show us where 234 is?
That's right.
Oh, right there? Okay. 1234. I said 1234. I'm sorry. Didn't I? I'm sorry.
1234.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you said 234. Because you said I'm showing you 232, and I'm asking you to identify 234.
All right. Okay. All right. Let me show you. Let me get this right. 232, and you're pointing out 1234, right? 1244.
This is 1234 as a circle. Yep.
Okay. All right. And 1234 is where? Hold on. With reference to 232, State's Exhibit 232, you said there were some casings?
Yes, sir.
All right, you want to show us where the casings were?
It's just west of the room here on the porch.
I'm sorry, just what's...
Just west of the 1234 door on the floor.
Okay, what you just circled?
Yes.
Okay, showing you now 234, State's Exhibit 234. And is that a close-up of those casings? Can you see them?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that the classroom door 1234 was shattered, the glass, right?
Yes.
Did you go into 1234?
Yes, I did.
And what damage did you see within 1234?
As I walked in, there was damage that including several suspected projectile entry sites, strike sites from the floor on several desks, and also on the far wall of the room.
Okay. now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 235. And what does that show?
Also, just west of the door will be those two fire casings there, and also the one within the threshold of the door.
Okay. And we're looking into classroom 1234 through the door?
Yes, sir.
And that's where you saw the suspected strike marks from a firearm, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing you now State's Exhibit 233. Is that a close-up?
Yes, of the casing on the threshold of the door.
Okay. And that's 1234, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to show you State's Exhibits marked 10X, 10U, and 10Y. Let me ask you if you can identify this. Officer Suarez.
This is my documentation photos of room 1231,
Okay.
which also had a spent casing on the floor.
Okay. And did these photographs of classroom 1231 truly and accurately depict the scene as you saw it on Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to offer now State's Exhibits 10Y, 10U, and 10X.
Governor, we have no objection to 10Y or 10U, but if I may just briefly on 10X.
I do have one.
You need to make an objection sidebar.
Yes, ma'am, please.
The defense objection states 10U will be received as 236, 10X will be received as 237, and 10Y will be received as 238.
Thank you, Your Honor. Showing you now Deputy Suarez 237. What does that show?
That's a overall photograph of the outside of room 1231.
And 238, State's Exhibit 238.
That'll be intermediate photo of room 1231.
Okay. And did you go into 1231?
Yes, sir.
And what damage, if any, did you see?
It's several projectile penetration strike sites within the floor, desk, and also the far wall of the classroom.
And showing you now State Exhibit 236. You mentioned a casing outside of 1231. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
You want to? Okay. Now showing you State's Exhibit marked 10T for identification. Deputy Suarez, if you take a look at that, please, sir. You recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you take that photograph?
Yes, I did, sir.
And what does that photograph show?
That's another spent casing found on the hallway, on the south, on the hallway.
And where is it in the hallway?
It's across room 1231.
Okay. And does that photograph truly and accurately depict the casing as you saw it in the hallway on February the 14th, 2018?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 10T. No objection.
Okay, State's Exhibit 10T, like Tom, for identification will be received as State's 239.
All right, showing you now State's Exhibit 239. You want to point out where the casing was that you mentioned? So those, there were 6 casings. What did you do with those 6 casings?
After I take my overall my intermediates and close-up shots of the fire casings, I marked the specific areas they're at in the hallway with the room number and the FC that you see in there, which meant fire casing.
Okay.
And then after I've done all my photos, then I would package it as evidence.
Okay. Let me show you now State's Exhibit marked 10P. Deputy Suarez, and ask you if you can.
Could be the fire casings I collected from the hallway.
And when you collect them, you put them in those individual boxes?
Yes, I did.
And you indicated on the boxes where they were found in the hallway?
Yes, sir.
Okay, with reference to classroom 1231, 1234, and 1232?
Yep, to each prospective classroom.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit
10P, like Paul. Is that?
No objection.
Okay, 10, State's Exhibit 10P for identification will be received as 240.
Now, Deputy Suarez, I want to show you State's Exhibits 11D, 11A, and 10Z. Yes, here, if you can identify this, sir. Excuse me.
Yes, sir. This will be what I know is one area drone footage photo of buildings 12 and 13, and the other ones are specifically an aerial drone footage photo of building 13.
Okay. Where is building 13 with reference to building 12? Or 1200 to 1300?
Building 13 will be just east of building 12.
Okay. And why did you take those photographs?
Those photographs were taken to show an overall of building 13 since we had several pieces of projectile fragments on that rooftop.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer state's exhibits 11B, 11A, and 10Z.
Is there any objection? It states 10Z like zebra for identification will be received as 241. 11A like alpha will be received as 242. 11B like bravo will be received as 243.
Okay. And when you took those photographs, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went over, did you do anything on the rooftop?
Yes, what we did, sir, is we, if you see the orange markings on there, those are markings suggesting the areas that I found the projectile fragments, which are suspected pieces of rounds on top of the rooftop, and also marked the total of them, which was around, I believe, 7 pieces, and also we also put the direction of where the building is so we can have a top view of the direction of the building.
Okay. Now let me show you. State's exhibit now 241. Okay. So where's the 1200 building? Okay. And where's the 1300 building? Okay. Now let's see if we can. And I think that's as close as I can do it. Can you point out where you saw these fragments? Okay. Now showing me State's Exhibit Mark 242. What's that show?
That shows all this area here. As I was walking along the roof, as I was finding several suspected projectiles, I would mark them with different numbers. So when we do take aerial photographs, they can be seen where exactly on top of the rooftop they were at.
Okay. And that's directly across from the 1200 building, correct?
Yes, sir.
Showing you now State's Exhibit 243. Can you point out where the windows are in the 1200 building?
Say again, sir.
Facing west?
Well, there's an arrow there that's facing north. You want me to? What?
No, the windows in the 1200 building that are facing west.
Mm-hmm.
Can you point that out for us?
You said the window?
All right, that's the second floor, right?
Yes.
And then
You can't see the third floor from there, but
You can't see what?
the third floor barely, but those are
Okay.
circle was the second floor.
but you can see kind of at the end there, like part of
Right here.
it, right?
Yep.
Right there. And obviously below, the second floor is the first floor, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you can see, again, the where you marked the fragments
Yes, sir.
on the roof? Okay. Now I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 11J, 11I, 11H, 11G, 11F, 11E, and 11D. Ask you if you can identify those photographs.
These were the 7 individual items, sir, that I identified as suspected projectile fragments that I labeled with an orange marker on the rooftop.
Okay, and did you label each fragment with a different number?
Yes.
So 1 to 7?
Yes, sir.
And did these photographs that I've just showed you truly and accurately depict the numbers and the location and the fragment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to now offer these exhibits: 11J, 11I, 11H, 11G, 11F, 11E, and 11D.
No objection.
Okay. Without objection, State's Exhibit 11D, like Delta, will be received as 244, 11E, 245, 11F, 246, 11G, 247, 11H, 248, 11I, 249, and 11J, 250.
Thank you, Your Honor. And how did you collect? Did you collect those fragments?
Yes, I did, sir.
And how did you collect them?
I did the same thing. I collected them in separate boxes and labeled each one with a specific number and the location from where it was collected from.
Okay. Showing you State's Exhibit 11C. Ask you if you can identify that.
They're labeled here, rooftop 1 through 7, and each of the fragments, it's labeled with its corresponding box.
And you put them in the boxes?
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I now offer State's Exhibit 11C.
Is there any objection?
No, ma'am.
State's Exhibit 11C, like Charlie, will be received as 251.
Just showing you now State's Exhibit 244. Is that what you found on the roof? You labeled number 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay. State's Exhibit 245. Labeled number 2. Correct?
Yes.
And State's Exhibit 246. Label number 3.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 247. Label number 4.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 248. Label number 5.
Yes.
Correct? State's Exhibit 249, you labeled 6. Correct?
Yes.
And the last one, you said you found 7. State's Exhibit 250, you labeled that number 7.
Yes.
Okay. And that was directly across from the 1200 building, correct?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I have no further questions of witnesses.
Mr. Benson, any questions?
Just briefly.
Okay. Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
Just a few questions. When you arrived on scene at the Marjory Stoneman Douglas School and you were assigned to the 1200 building, you worked with some other crime scene detectives, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And each crime scene detective took a lead on a floor. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the first floor was Detective Christian, correct?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
You were responsible for the second floor,
Yes,
and Detective Crespo was in charge of the third floor, correct?
yes,
Okay. And obviously, as a detective in crime scene, you have extensive experience and training to prepare you for such a task as you had to perform on the 14th of February, correct?
yes,
Okay. And you have protocol that you have to follow when processing a scene, isn't that correct?
yes,
And one of the first things, if not the first thing that you're supposed to do, is to photograph the scene as close in time as to when the incident or the crime occurred, correct?
yes,
And that's because when you have to process a crime scene, especially this crime scene, it being so large, sometimes things get moved or they have to be displaced in order to document it, correct?
yes,
Okay. So it's true then that the photographs that you took of the second floor would be the photographs that most accurately depict the crime scene as close in time to the event, correct?
yes.
Thank you.
No question, John.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're excused.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Laura Zucchini.
Good morning. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you so much. You can go ahead and have a seat. Ma'am, if you would please speak into the microphone. Tell us your full name and spell your last name for the record, okay?
Laura Zucchini, my last name. It's Zeccchini.
Good morning, Mrs. Zucchini. How are you?
Good morning.
Good. What do you do? Do you work?
Yes and no.
Give me the yes part.
Oh, well, I do sometimes Uber.
Uber?
Yes, but I have investments here,
Okay.
so I live from my investments.
Okay. So how long have you worked with Uber?
Oh, about 4 years.
Okay. And only Uber, or do you work for another company?
No, only Uber.
Just Uber?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Zucchini, I'd like to call your attention to Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have occasion to pick someone up and bring them to Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to offer a certified copy of Uber records. Insurance defense has seen this. 11R.
No objection?
Other than 401, Your Honor.
Okay. States Exhibit 11R, like Richard, will be received as 252.
Okay, Mr. King, I'm going to show you States Exhibit 252. See if I can. All right, do you recognize that? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And it shows the name Nikolas Cruz, right?
Right.
At the top. Thanks for choosing Uber, Nikolas Cruz. See that?
No?
At the top.
Okay.
See it?
Yes.
Okay. So, what is this?
It's the address. Also, will he request me?
Okay.
And the address that Uber showed me
Okay.
to take him to that address. I don't know that it was school.
Okay. And it shows the time you picked him up. Is that right?
Yes, I think so. That's right. I have my phone in my bag, so. But I think it's all right.
Okay. You mean, tell me when you say you kept your phone. What's the significance of your phone?
Did you say your glasses? You need your glasses?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Your phone.
My phone is in my bag.
Right. I know. Why do you mention your phone?
Because it's the colors are different.
Okay. So on your phone you have this?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I think the judge was getting at. So tell us how it works.
They request me, and I go to the address to pick the person, the passenger, the rider.
Okay. So how do they request you? How do you know where?
It comes out. It pops out.
It pops out where?
In the phone, in the app.
Okay. In your phone.
In my phone.
Okay. So how does it pop out? What does it show?
You are online with the Uber, and
Right.
it comes out. It comes out. To pick up It pops out the address where you have to pick up the rider, the passenger.
Okay. So when it pops out, it gives you an address?
Yes.
So how do you know? How do you get to the address?
It's like on Google Map. It shows where you have to pick it up.
Okay, so you went to 7200 Loxahatchee Road?
Yes.
Okay. And at 2:06 you got the call, right? You
Yes,
picked up?
the request. Yeah.
All right. Do you remember picking someone up at 72 Loxahatchee Road?
Yes, Nikolas Cruz.
Yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
well, Nicholas, because it shows it shows the name.
All right.
I am not sure. I don't remember.
Okay. So tell us what happened. You go pick him up. What happened?
I picked him up, and he comes in the car, and
What
he
kind of
told
car?
me he was going to his music class, and that's all.
Okay. He said he was going to music class. Did he have anything with him?
Yes, he had a big, well, right now I know it's a backpack, but for me in that time it was a case,
Okay.
a guitar case,
Okay. All right. So what kind of vehicle did you have?
a RAV4.
A RAV4?
Yes, Toyota.
Okay. It's a four-door vehicle?
Yes,
Where did he get in? Where did he get in the car?
and the Los Angeles, in the back.
In the back?
Yes.
Okay. So what happened once he got into the back of your vehicle?
Yes, he come in, and well, that's when he told me that he was going to the music class,
Okay.
and he get in.
Okay. And this says that the ride lasted 12 minutes and 56 seconds.
Yes.
Okay. How did you know where to go?
It's the map from Uber showed me the way to go to the school. Well, to go to the address that comes out.
Okay. Let me show you State's Exhibit marked 15C, which appears to be kind of a bigger. You recognize?
Yes. Yes.
Is that what's on your phone?
Yes, it's the same.
It's the same as on your
Yes.
phone? And
Yes.
even though it happened back in February of 2018, you still have it on your phone?
Yes.
Okay, and this is what it shows on your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 15C.
Is there any objection?
No, ma'am.
We haven't seen it, Judge.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Other than 401, no objection.
Okay, State's Exhibit 15C as in Charlie will be received as 253.
Okay, Ms. Akini, I want to show you now State Exhibit 253. So this is what appears on your phone.
Yes,
So 72 Waxahachie Road, right?
yes,
And 5901 Pine Island Road.
yes.
And then what's the,
Okay, yes,
Okay,
yes,
and is that the route you take?
yes.
Okay. And the distance is 4.69 miles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you're in the car with him, any conversation other than what you said?
Well, no, he asked me if I was, I was from the neighborhood, so from the area.
Right.
I know I told him no, that I pick up some passengers and drop them in the area, that's all.
Okay. And did you observe what he was doing, if anything, while he was in the back seat of your RAV4?
Well, he was on the phone,
Okay.
that's all.
Okay. So let me show you now State's Exhibit 1. Do you remember reaching that intersection of Hamburg and Pine Island?
Yes.
Okay, what happened when you reached that intersection?
When we arrived to the light, the app from Uber was showing me to go straight.
Okay.
And in the light, he told me to turn to left on Pine Island Road.
Okay. Could you draw where you went left? On this, you pick a color and it can show you can,
Pick a color?
yeah. And
This gentleman can show you if you need help.
How do I do that? Oh,
okay.
oh.
Okay, is
On
that,
this one? Yes. It's this.
so that's where you went?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you were going to go straight, he told you to turn left.
Yes.
Okay, I have no further questions, Your Honor, of Ms. Akini.
Okay, defense, any questions?
Briefly, Judge.
Okay.
You want any of this, Mr. Curtis? Is there?
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am.
Hey, good morning.
On this particular day, Mr. Cruz used the Uber pool option, correct?
Excuse me?
Mr. Cruz used the Uber pool option, correct?
Yes.
Okay, an Uber pool is a shared ride option, correct? It's less money, but you might have to share your ride with another person,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
And there are other, can you hear me? Oh. There are other options where you wouldn't have to share your ride, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me. And when the person orders the Uber pool, they don't know whether they're going to have to share the ride, correct?
No, well, they have to know they have to share the ride.
Okay, but it didn't happen in this case, but it might have happened, right?
It might have, yes.
It was possible.
Yes, it's possible.
Okay. And do you remember Mr. Cruz being anxious and nervous when you dropped him off?
Yes. Well, that's what I feel.
Okay. I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Okay, state any more questions for this
Yeah,
witness?
I just have one question. Do you know if Mr. Cruz always used the pool?
No.
You don't know that? Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You're
Your Honor, before she goes, can we have a sidebar?
Sure. Just 1 second, please.
Make these other 5 full overrides part of State's Exhibit that's already been introduced in evidence is 252. I can make it a separate.
I think you need to make it a separate
Okay,
exhibit.
all right.
252 is already in evidence.
Okay. Your Honor.
And this is a certified document? Did you say?
Yeah, it was part of the certification of 252. We're making a separate.
Okay. Is there any objection other than that disclosed or argued on the sidebar? Okay, 24H will be received as 254.
Thank you, Ms. Akey.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You're excused. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, we're going to take a recess for about 15 minutes. It's 10:46. We're going to be in recess until approximately 11 o'clock. Please leave your notepads on your seats. Please do not discuss the case or begin deliberating. And we'll be back with you in about 15 minutes. Thank you. Gentlemen, we're in recess for 15 minutes.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Come to order, remain seated. Jurors are entering.
The jurors are present. State, call your next witness.
Thank you. Gloria Crespo.
Good morning. Please remain standing.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down and be seated. And if you would please speak into the microphone, state your full name, and spell your last name for the record.
Gloria Crespo, Crespo.
And what's your occupation?
I'm a sergeant for Broward Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been a sergeant?
A sergeant, a year.
Okay. And prior to becoming a sergeant, what did you do?
I was a crime scene detective.
Okay. And how long were you a crime scene detective?
Approximately 6 years. 6 years, sorry. Approximately 6 years as detective.
How long have you been in law enforcement?
22 years.
And when did you start?
1999.
What training have you had to be a crime scene investigator?
I've done several classes in crime scene, and also we have an extensive training where it's a one-on-one training with another field training officer of the discipline, and we many hours and months with that training.
Okay. How many crime scenes have you been to in your career as a crime scene investigator?
It's in the hundreds, I'd say.
Okay. I'd like to call your attention to Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018. Were you on duty on that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you called upon to respond to a certain location.
Yes, sir.
And where did you respond to?
Responded to 5901 Pine Island Road, Marjory, Stoneman, Douglas.
Okay. Marjory, Stoneman, Douglas High School?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you go to any particular building?
Yes, sir.
And what building did you go to?
I went to the third-story building on campus, the only one on campus, and it's the 12 building, also known as a 1200 building.
Okay. And that's on the northeast side of the Marjory, Stoneman, Douglas campus?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you given a particular assignment on
Yes.
that day?
Yes, I was.
And Sergeant, what was your assignment?
My assignment was to document the third floor and also the stairwells.
Okay. So let me show you now state's exhibits marked 11Q, 11-0, 11L, I guess it's 11O, 11N, and ask you, Sergeant, if you can identify these photographs.
Yes, sir. I was going to say 11Q. Okay. The first one I'm looking at is going to be, it's a photograph I took, and it is of the stairwell. I'm looking, and this is the west stairwell. I'm looking at a soft rifle bag. It's a black bag, Cabela
Talking about the east
brand.
stairwell?
It's the east stairwell, yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And that state's exhibit mark 11N.
It's the same photograph of that east stairwell. There's also backpacks that were left behind at the time, and it's
Left behind by the students?
By the students, yes.
Okay.
And the black soft rifle bag is on the first step. It's a Cabela bag.
Okay. And that state's exhibit 11L.
This is a closer look at that Cabela bag. It's a soft rifle bag.
Okay. You took that photograph?
Yes, sir.
And that's 11O.
Inside of this bag, I found red earpiece that is used to.
Can you speak up?
Sure. I'm sorry. It's red earpiece. It's a red earpiece for usually used so you cannot hear. So it muffles out any type of noise, and it's usually used in the range for us.
For range shooting?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to offer state's exhibits 11Q, 11O, 11L, and 11N.
Mr. Senator, could you come to those for a moment, please? Because I think you guys have to listen.
Sure, take a look. sir.
Defense, is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. Rule 401 and 403, please.
Okay, over the defense objection states 11L will be received as 255. 11N as in Nancy, 256. 11O, 257. And 11Q, 258.
Detective Crespo, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit Mark 255. Is that the Cabela bag you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there appears to be a cell phone with wires attached. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to show you a close-up State's Exhibit 250. Is that the same Cabela bag and the same phone?
Yes, sir.
And were you present when that phone was collected later that day?
From detective, yes.
Okay. And close-up of the Cabela bag, 258. And is that the hearing? The
hearing protection, yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me show you State's Exhibit marked 11P.
It is the same hearing protection that I collected that day.
Okay, the hearing protection you collected?
Yes, sir.
And reflected in the photograph 250?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now at this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 11P.
Is there any objection?
Just 401.
Okay, over the defense objection states Exhibit 11P as in Paul for identification will be received at 259.
And at this time, Sergeant Crespo, I'm going to show you the State's Exhibit 11M.
That is the Cabela bag I collected on that date.
Described and you took photographs of them.
Yes.
Photographs I just showed.
Yes, sir.
All right, Your Honor, this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 11M.
Defense?
Rule 401 again.
Okay, over the defense objection states Exhibit 11M as in Mary will be received as 260.
Then after you were in the east stairwell, Sergeant, did you have occasion to go to the west stairwell?
Yes, sir.
And I want to show you State's Exhibits marked 11S, 11T, 11U, 11W, and 11X. And I ask you, Sergeant, if you can take a look at these photographs and see if you recognize what those are, please.
Yes. It's the first floor landing of that stairwell.
The west stairwell?
Yes, the west stairwell. The same, that west stairwell, first floor landing. Again, it's the same west stairwell over by the emergency exit by the stairwell. And then it's a photograph of a fired cartridge.
Commonly called a casing?
Commonly called a casing, yes. And another photograph of a fired casing.
Your Honor, and you took these photographs?
I did.
And they truly accurately depict the casings in the doorway and the west stairwells you saw on February the 14th, 2018?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer 11X, 11W, 11U, 11T, and 11S.
Is there any objection?
No, ma'am.
Okay, without objection, 11S, like Sam, will be received as 261. 11T, like Tom, will be received as 262. 11U will be received as 263. 11W, 264, and 11X, like X-ray, 265.
I want to show you now State's Exhibit marked 11V, like in victory.
Yes.
See if you can identify that.
These are the two fired casings that I collected from that stairwell. Yes, these are the two fired casings that I collected from that stairwell.
From the west stairwell?
Yes, the west stairwell, which is also known as 1200A.
Okay. And the west stairwell is 1200B?
The east stairwell.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 11B.
Is there any objection?
No, ma'am.
State's Exhibit 11V, like Victor, without objection, will be received as State's 266.
Press logo, I want to show you State's Exhibit 261. And you described that there was a casing there near the doorway, the west doorwell?
Yes.
All right, could you use the telestrator?
No. Is it with my finger or is there a...
With one
Okay.
colors.
It's like in one.
Okay.
That's one casing. Okay. And this door, to my right, that leads out to the outside, correct?
Yes, it does. It's from the stairwell to the outside.
Okay. And now I want to show you State's Exhibit marked 265. And that's the other casing?
Yes.
So they're the two casings you found in the west stairwell, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Here's a 264 close-up. Is that right?
Yes.
And show you State's Exhibit marked 263 as kind of a perspective shot. So the door leading to the outside would be where?
There's two doors leading to the outside, one from the stairwell, which says exit, and then the other two doors are in the hallway of the first floor, which you see to the right. But from that stairwell, the exit door, the one that's right there, exit is the only door to the stairwell.
All right, now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit marked 105. It's already been introduced in evidence. You recognize who that is?
Yes, sir.
All right, who is that?
That's Scott Beigel.
Aaron Feis?
Aaron Feis, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
And this would be on the other side of that door?
Yes.
And State's Exhibit 104, Aaron Feis, correct?
Yes, that's Coach Feis.
Let me show you now. the other side of this doorway, in State's Exhibit 105, I want to show you State's Exhibit marked 24I. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
You know who that is?
Yes.
Who is that?
That's victim Meadow Pollack.
Are you sure that's not Jaime Guttenberg outside the door? This is on the first floor.
This is the first floor.
Right. You don't recognize who that is?
I don't right now, no.
Oh, okay. All right.
Can't recognize that.
Okay. All right, after you were in the west stairwell, where did you go?
I went to the third floor. I went back to the east stairwell, and then I went up to the third floor.
Okay. And did you go to what part of the third floor did you go to first?
From the east stairwell, entering that end towards which the classroom over there was 1256. That's where I came in, which would be our.
All right. Did you ever go to the third floor west stairwell?
Did I ever go through the west stairwell? Yes.
Okay. Let me show you State's Exhibits marked 12N, 12G, and 11Z. And ask you if you can identify those photographs.
Yes.
All right. Did you take those photographs?
I did.
And did those photographs accurately and truly depict the third floor west stairwell landing as they existed when you were there on Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to offer State's Exhibits 12N, 12G, and 12Z.
Is it 12Z or 11?
11Z.
Okay. Is there an objection?
Yes, ma'am. We just incorporate all grounds for objection as detailed as DMIL 12, please.
Okay, thank you. So noted. State's Exhibit 11Z, like zebra, will be received as 267. States 12G, as in George, will be received as 268. And states 12N, like Nancy, will be received as 269.
State's Exhibit marked 267. Sergeant, tell us what that is.
That is a black vest. It's an Empire vest.
Right, you want to circle the vest, please?
It's used to carry magazines.
You gotta get
It's an Empire black vest used to carry magazines, which a magazine is what you would put bullets into. And that vest had 5 magazines stored in it, along with, has different pockets. In the right pocket, it had an ID to the Nassau County Police, to Roger Cruz. When I took everything out of that vest, I found 5 magazines, one of 40 capacity, which basically what that would mean is that it holds 40 bullets. The rest of 30 capacity is what came out of that vest. Then you'll see it is a Smith & Wesson MP15 rifle, and it is loaded, which meaning that the magazine is in the well and ready to be fired.
Was there one in the chamber?
There was one in the chamber.
Okay. What does that mean?
That it's ready to pull the trigger and fire.
And did you collect the vest and the 5 magazines?
I did.
And did you collect the Smith & Wesson M&P 15 TF 16214? That's a serial number, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you collected that?
Yes.
And you collected the round that was in the chamber and the 22 rounds that were in the magazine?
Yes.
Correct? Okay, and I want to show you now State's Exhibit 268. Is that a close-up of the vest as you found it?
Yes.
Okay, and State's Exhibit 269, is that where the rifle was?
Yes.
Would you do me a favor and circle where the rifle? Now I want to show you. 12A. It's safe.
TF 16214.
Okay. Is that the rifle that you collected on the 3rd floor stairwell?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer 12A.
Is there any objection?
Rule 401, 403, please.
Over the defense objection, what's been marked for identification as 12A will be received as 270.
Showing you now State's Exhibit 12C and State's Exhibit 12E. Did you recognize that?
Yes. The live round that was found in that stairwell. This is, yes, my chamber round. That's why it's separated. And then this is the 23 rounds that came out of the magazine. They're separated because they're separated by head stamp. So basically a head stamp is the brand of the ammunition. So if we look at it as, like, say, pocketbooks, you have Gucci as a G, Fendi as an F, Louis Vuitton as an LV. Well, all the companies, manufacturers for ammunition, will have their head stamp and their lettering on it. That's how we can tell different ammunition. So I separated it by the different companies.
Okay, what are the ammunition?
The ammunition on this one is going to be 20 marked LC and 3 PMCs.
Okay. Your Honor, this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 12E and 12C.
Is there any objection?
Just Rule 401, please.
Over the defense objection states 12C as in Charlie for identification will be received as 271 and 12E will be received as 272.
Okay, so I think at this point I'm going to show you and offer you to look at State's Exhibit 12F.
Yes. This is the vest that I collected from that stairwell. You can tell there was an Empire. It's an Empire brand vest. And this here is where the pouches where you would put the magazines that I had found. And then up here on the right side, as I stated, was where the Nassau County Police.
Okay. Let me show you State's Exhibit 12H.
Right. So it was in this pocket here.
Okay. And that's the Roger Cruz identification?
This is the Roger Cruz Nassau County Police badge.
And you found 5 magazines in the vest, correct?
5 magazines, yes.
And at this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 12H and State's Exhibit 12F.
Defense, any objection?
No objection, 12F, and object to Rule 401. I'm sorry, no objection to 12H, but we do object to 12F on 401, please.
Okay, over the defense objection, 12F as in Frank will be received as 273 and 12H will be received as 274.
Sergeant, show you now 12D. And you recognize what that is?
Yes, this is the magazine that was removed from that weapon.
Your Honor, offer 12E.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. Rule 401, 403, as well as the previous defense motion to exclude. Thank you.
Over the defense objection, states 12D as in Delta will be received as 275.
Sergeant, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit marked 12I.
This is one of the magazines that was taken out of the vest. This is the 40 magazine capacity. So it's a 40
Can you get
capacity.
closer?
This is one of the magazines that was taken out from the vest, and it's a 40 round capacity. So basically, it can hold up to 40 rounds and separated again by the different companies of manufacturers.
Okay, what are the companies that manufacture?
On this one, it was 36 WMA and 4 RP 223s.
Okay, so there are 40 rounds in that 40 round magazine that were in the vest, right?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 12I.
Rule 401, please.
Okay, over the defense objection, states 12I will be received as 276.
Sergeant, I'll show you State's Exhibit 12J.
This was also removed from the vest. This is a 30 capacity.
Sergeant, could you just please speak up?
This is a 30 capacity. It was also removed from the vest. I apologize. It's 1 RP and 1 FC. And then you have 7 PMCs here and then 21 LC.
Okay, so 30 rounds?
Totaling 30 rounds.
30 rounds. Live rounds, right?
Live rounds, yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 12J.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. Rule 401, thank you.
Okay, over the defense objection, states 12J will be received as states 277.
I'm going to show you State Exhibit 12K. Identify that, Sergeant.
12K is a 30-round magazine that came...
Sergeant, if you don't mind.
Again, sorry. This is also a 30-round magazine capacity here, and it's separated by their manufacturer. I had 1 WTC, 6 LCs, 2 MALs, 7 RPs, 8 MCs, and 6 FC rounds to total 30.
30 live rounds.
Yes, 30 live rounds.
This time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 12K.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. Rule 401, please.
Okay, over the defense objection, states 12K for identification will be received as 278.
Sergeant, I'm going to show you now State's Exhibit 12L.
12L is a PMAG, which is a brand of the magazine. They have brands as well. And that is a 30-round capacity separated by the ammunition brand of 5 RPs, 1 FC, 6 PMC, and 18 LCs to total 30 live rounds.
At this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 12L.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am, Rule 401.
Okay, State's Exhibit 12L for identification will be received over the defense objection as 279.
State's Exhibit for identification 12M. Sergeant, take a look at this, please.
Yes. This again came out of the vest. It is a 30-round capacity magazine. I had separated again by ammunition manufacturer, 7 PMCs, 8 FCs, 14 LCs. This one totaled 29 live rounds.
Thank you, Sergeant. I'd like to offer now State's Exhibit 12M.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am, Rule 401.
Over the defense objection, states 12M as in Mary for identification will be received as states 280.
Sergeant, when you were finished collecting those items on the third floor stairwell, did you go in to the main hallway?
Yes.
Okay. I want to show you State's Exhibit 12P and ask you if you can identify this.
Yes.
What is that?
The hallway was separated from west to east by quadrants, approximately 20-foot quadrants. And we started on the west side, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4, 3-5, 3-6, 3-7, 3-8, 3-9, ending in 3-10 to equal 10 quadrants, starting from the east at 3-1, ending on the west at 3-10.
Why do you do that?
In order for collection purposes, to be able to collect them by quadrant, just made sense in this type of a case.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 12P.
Is there any objection?
No, ma'am.
States 12P for identification without objection will be received as states 281.
So that's how you divided the quadrants?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you started from west to east?
Yes.
So Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, right? Okay.
3-1, 3-2.
I'll show you now. State's Exhibit 14C and 14A. And ask you if you can identify them.
Yes. This was a classroom 1256, closest to the east stairwell, and laying in front of this classroom was victim Scott Beigel.
Scott Beigel? Okay.
Yes.
And did you take those photographs?
I did.
And is that those two photographs truly and accurately depict Scott Beigel as he appeared outside 1256 on February 14, 2018?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibits 14C and 14A.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. All grounds for objection in DMIL 12, please.
All right, over the defense objection, States Exhibit 14A for identification will be received as 282, and 14C as in Charlie for identification will be received as 283.
Sergeant. State's Exhibit 283. And is that you described, is that where you photographed Scott Beigel?
Yes.
And is that outside classroom 1256?
Yes.
And showing you now 282. Does that give you some kind of perspective where Scott Beigel was? This is looking in which direction?
That is looking towards the west.
Okay. And what's the classroom right next door to 1256?
1255.
And lastly, I'm going to show you Space Exhibit 5C. And you recognize who that is?
Yes.
Who is that?
It is Mr. Scott Beigel.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 5C.
Is there any objection?
It's been grounds as outlined in DMIL 12, please.
Okay, over the defense objection, State's Exhibit 5C, like Charlie, will be received as 284.
And this was the gentleman outside 1256, correct?
Yes.
Now I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 13D, 13B, like in Victory, 14I, and 14H. I ask you, Sergeant, can you identify these photographs?
Yes. This is outside of the men's bathroom. Labeled as 1247. And then it is a hallway photograph as well of the victims between the bathrooms of.
And did you take those photographs?
Yes.
And did those photographs truly and accurately depict the men's restroom as you saw it on February the 14th, 2018?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer these exhibits to it. State's Exhibit 14H, 14I, 13B, and 13-0 or O.
Mr. Secretary, just look at them briefly.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Defense, is there any objection?
Just going to incorporate all grounds for objection in DMIL 12, please.
Okay, so noted. Over the defense objection, 13O will be received as 285. 13B, like Victor, will be received as 286. 14H will be received as 287. And 14I will be received as 288.
State's Exhibit 286. What does that show?
That is right outside the men's bathroom, labeled 1247.
Okay, you want to just put an X where the men's bathroom is there, please? Okay. And showing you now State's Exhibit 287. What's that?
These here are penetration sites, basically bullet holes going into that men's bathroom.
And is that the alcove of the men's restroom door?
Yes.
And is that the door we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. And showing you State's Exhibit marked 288. Is that a close-up of that?
Yes.
And I want to show you now State's Exhibit 12V for identification.
Yes.
Can you see if you can identify that?
Yes.
And what is that?
The victim, Joaquin Oliver.
Okay, and was that the way he was found when you took that photograph?
Yes.
On February the 14th, 2018?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit marked 12V.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. Again, DMIL 12, please.
Okay, over the defense objection states 12V as in Victor for identification will be received as 289.
And 289. Is that Joaquin Oliver?
Yes.
And can you see where the men's restroom was?
Yes. It
Did you
was
put an X?
in this direction, right in here was the alcove.
And showing you State's Exhibit 113. Who was that?
That's victim, Joaquin Oliver.
I'm going to show you now State's Exhibits 12U, 12T, and 13S.
Okay.
I'm asking Sergeant to identify those.
Yes, this is a photograph looking towards the west hallway, and it shows victim Peter Wang. This photograph here is photograph, same thing, towards the west hallway, starting at about where the woman's bathroom is, and it shows 4 victims. Victim Meadow Pollack, victim Cara Loughran, Joaquin Oliver, and Peter Wang. And then this is a photograph in between the bathrooms, and it shows some of 2 victims and victim Cara Loughran.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibits 12U, 12T, and 13S.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. All grounds as detailed in DMIL 12, please.
Your objection is noted. Over the defense objection states 12T for identification will be received as 290. States 12U for identification will be received as 291, and states 13S will be received as 292.
Okay, so I think we want to show you State's Exhibit 291. Who is that?
That is Cara Loughran.
Okay, and is that the way you found her?
Yes.
And State's Exhibit 290.
Laying prone, which is head down, is going to be Meadow Pollack, and then Cara, and then Joaquin Oliver, and all the way by the west end of the hallway is Peter Wang.
It's Peter Wang. I'll show you now State's Exhibit R12W.
This is a close-up picture of Peter Wang.
Okay, and that's the way you found him on February 14, 2018?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 12W.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. Same grounds for rejection as outlined in GML 12, please.
Okay, over the defense objection, states 12W will be received as states 293.
Okay, State's 293.
That is Peter Wang. Right, that's right where the stairwell is.
And now showing you State's Exhibit 14K. You recognize that photograph?
Yes, this is that west wall over where the stairwell is and where Peter Wang was.
Where he was, and he's obviously removed in this photograph. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 14K.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. All grounds is outlined in GML 12, as well as the previous objection made to S237 based on the investigative markings. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Over the defense objection, 14K will be received as 294.
All right, showing you now the Sergeant 294. Tell me what that is.
That is the west wall. And all the markings is a document in the wall.
Okay. And you can see that there's that window there.
Yes.
Where is that window?
That window faces the campus towards the east, towards the west side, and there is strike marks on that window.
Let me show you now State's Exhibit 14J. Let's see if you can identify that.
Yes.
What is that?
This is that same window, just a close-up picture of that window.
Okay, with the strike marks that you mentioned?
Where the strike marks, yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 14J.
Is there any objection?
No, ma'am.
Did you say no?
No, ma'am.
Okay, without objection, 14J will be received as states 295.
Here's 295. And then the strike marks you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
And this is looking out west, correct?
This is looking out west, yes.
And now showing you state's exhibits marked 13Z, 14G, 14F, and 14E.
This is a bullet hole penetration site in room 1255 and documentation of the projectile flight, how the projectile went through the room in room 1255. All these photographs are documenting that.
And 1255 is next to classroom 1256?
Yes.
And 1256 you described for the jury where Scott Beigel was, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now at this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 13Z, 14G, 14F, and 14E.
Thank you.
Defense, is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am. May we go sidebar briefly, please?
Okay, over the defense objection, states 13Z will be received as 296, 14E will be received as 297, 14F 298, and 14G 299.
Okay, Sergeant. I want to show you first State's Exhibit 296. Okay. Please tell us what that is.
It's the fire cartridges or fire casings, as we stated before, all around the front of classroom 1255.
Okay, and where's 1256?
1256 is going to be right here, and then this is 1255.
And now showing you State's Exhibit 299. What's that?
This is showing penetration sites.
You want to circle?
Yes, I'm going to right now, which is basically our layman's terms, our bullet hole, which is going to be here. I'm sorry, I kind of covered it a little.
Here, I'll give you another
There,
chance.
it's right there. And then right here.
Okay. And State's Exhibit Mark 298. Before you do that, let me show you State's Exhibit 297.
That is a close-up picture of that penetration site.
Okay. And now 298.
This is the other side of it.
When you say the other side,
This is the other side of that wall. So it went through, and we use ballistic trajectory rods, basically a forensic tool, to show us the flight path of basically the projectile. So when we do this, we study the interior of it, and to know where the penetration site is. So where that bullet hole first went in is usually a cleaner entrance, and then when it comes out, you see what you see there. It is not as clean per se as the beginning, right? So with those trajectory rods, we're able to figure out the flight path, and in this, it went through the wall into the cabinet, and it ended on the north side of the Promethean board in that classroom.
okay, so this, we're standing, we're looking at this, we're standing.
We're standing looking at this north wall, but in this room would be south, right? But yes, it's that north wall where that bully sign was. It's just going right through.
Okay, but we're standing in the classroom now.
Yes, you're standing inside the classroom.
Now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit Mark 13N for identification. And ask you if you can identify this.
Yes. This was found on quadrant 3-4 on the 3rd floor, and it's a rail cover in the hallway, and it was collected in quadrant 3-4.
Let's see if I can do that. So holding up now State's Exhibit 281, which is the quadrant diagram.
Yes.
Testified about. So where did you find this rail cover?
We can't see it.
Yeah.
Now we can.
Okay. It was, so this is the alcove to the women's restroom here.
No, I can't see it.
I can't see it either.
Try it again.
So right here is that alcove? I don't have the red pen, so I can show you. So it's 1248, where the alcove is. It was right in the interior.
Hold on for 1 second. Ian's going to
Okay.
show you over here.
There we go.
Right there.
Oh, look, my finger's over there. So yes, it was in this little alcove, and it was like right there. Yes.
Okay. And it's a rail cover for what?
It's a rail cover for the firearm, and basically a rail cover is attached usually to the barrel, and that's because it gets hot, and it protects you from is usually the reason for the rail cover.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit Mark 13N.
Is there any objection?
Rule 401, please.
Okay, over the defense objection, states 13